Hello and welcome to MLOps Minutes. The idea of this video is to help you save your lifetime by automating all your actions. And to automate all your actions, you simply have to master your development tool. So in this video, I'm going to focus on shortcuts. So I'm not going to talk about everything, it's really just an introduction. But as the videos go on, we'll see different parts which will enable us to focus on different parts. When I started working, I was lucky enough to come across the right people who simply explained to me that they said take 2 days, learn all the keyboard shortcuts by heart, manipulate the code, play with it, and you have to master them and know them by heart. If you take 2 days, you'll gain 3 days a week for the rest of your life. In fact, from the very first week you save time. And they were right, because I've more than made good use of that time. And that's what I'm going to tell you today. So I use PyCharm. In the team, that's what we use. What's great is that with JetBrains tools, you can change languages and still use the same IDE. And the refactoring capabilities of the JetBrains tools are simply amazing. I've also got Copilot to go with it, so I really do have a powerful editor today. By default, you have PyCharm keyboard shortcuts. You can get the associated PDF by doing help keyboard shortcut PDF. But I learned to develop mainly with Visual Studio. So I changed the key map in the settings. So here we go to settings, key map. By default, there's no Visual Studio. What I did was click here to download the Visual Studio key map. That's what I did. And I simply activated it. So don't necessarily take this key map, but the idea is that I'm going to tell you the shortcuts I use, and I personally use these shortcuts. So I'm going to give you a little demo. Here I have a class. I'm going to add a log, because I have a logger available. So I start writing self. And then it suggests I put self. It's perfect. Now I can hit tab and it will autocomplete. Now it's Copilot's turn. All I have to do is press tab and it auto-completes my line. It's exactly what I wanted to log as well. How convenient. Now I've got a problem. I've got exactly the same bit of code twice. And you have to know that in client code. And also to protect your code, in other words, it's going to access an array, but potentially I don't know what it does, and it can take up a lot of CPU and RAM. So the best practice is to create a subvariable. I'll press Ctrl-Shift-R. It'll show me all the refactors I can do at that moment. And what I want to do is introduce a variable. It suggests replacing the 2 occurrences. I press down arrow, enter. The idea is to never ever use your mouse. The less you use your mouse, the more time you save. He suggests default names. I'll take the second one. But I've realized that this one's got the wrong name. There's a little hyphen. It's not what I want. So I do Ctrl-Shift-R, rename. I remove the little tilde, enter, and that's it. So now I'm happy. I could, if I wanted to extract a method, I'll select all this code here. That's the one I'm interested in. Everything with the keyboard. I do Ctrl-Shift. Then I can extract method. And it will suggest a method name. Now that's exactly what I want. I press enter, still without touching the keyboard. And it's created a great method with an image as input and the parameters I wanted as output. Great stuff. I'm not going to leave this because it's not what I want. I created a method for the demo, but it's really not bad. Now, for example, I can add a parameter here. Copilot suggests I add input directory. I don't know what I want, but it's just for a demo. And now I can Alt-Enter and say I'm adding a field. And that's it. I've added a field to my class. Perfect. I've saved even more time. Same thing I hadn't noticed, but here I have a 0 result duplication, and that's good. Now I can create a variable. It suggests replacing 4 occurrences. It's the same. I'll call it index 0. It's not great, but We'll give it a temporary name. The same, I've refactored, I've simplified my code. Imagine, for example, that I want to type the return type here, which is good practice. What I'm going to do is create a data class. Here, Copilot suggests I create a data class. And here, I'm going to create a class that I'll call inference result. So here's Copilot helping me out. He understood what I wanted to do, that is, type what's here. My data class isn't imported. In other words, I'm missing the import. All I have to do is Alt-Enter. What's more, Pitchit explains to me that I don't have an import. And he gives me the import. So enter. I can choose which import. The first one he suggests is the best. And that's it. And now I've got the import for this data class. It's really great. It allows me to go very fast. So now I'm going to type in my type of return. And now what I can do is put this line as a comment by pressing Ctrl Case C. Or uncommented, Ctrl Case C. This is for the demo. I could also delete it by pressing Ctrl Shift Delete. And that's it. And like that, I'll delete the line. So what I want to do here is make a return. So I'm going to do a return. I'm going to change so Copilot does it for me. And voila, I've returned what I wanted. I'm really happy. Now my editor is showing me little gray dots. So it suggests that I refactor my file. I do Alt-Enter. And in fact, it refactored me everywhere where it really cleaned up the whole file. And I've saved a lot of time again. You have to know that I can navigate in the code. All I have to do is Ctrl. For example, here's my data class. Click, and I'll go to my data class. Similarly, in my files here, I've already opened a test file. Well, I can navigate by pressing Ctrl Tab to go to my tests. Ctrl Tab, I can return to the previous file. I can even, if I want, get other features. And if I want to go backwards, so go upwards, I can do Ctrl Shift Tab and go back up to select what I want. And that way, I'm really very efficient. What else can I show you? You can also duplicate a line. I think it's Ctrl D. You can duplicate lines, if you like, and I think I'll stop there. But in any case, what's really important is that you take the time to learn this key map by heart, to master it. And time is saved by simply taking it. So for the Visual Studio key map, I just typed in JetBrains Visual Studio key map PDF. In the second link, I found this key map. All you have to do is print this key map. Print it out and put it next to your workstation and simply learn it. And you will increase your development speed really by a factor of 10. Thank you for this video. See you soon.